In recent years, we've seen the superhero world open up and allow a lot more diversity in their characters, whether it's the introduction of a completely new character with different ideals and values, or having a character of color take up the mantle of a previously established character. Either way, I think it is truly a step in the right direction, and I could not be more supportive of this decision. What is going on, all you nerdy folk out there? My name is Jack, and join me today while I tell you about some of the best Hispanic superheroes out there in the comic book universe. So, let's jump right in. Coming in at number 10, we have Maya Lopez, aka Echo. From a very early age, Maya showed a mastery of her ability known as photographic reflexes, meaning she is able to perfectly replicate any physical movement or action after seeing it just one time. Born the daughter of Willie Lincoln, a mob enforcer working for Kingpin, she was actually taken in by Kingpin after the murder of her father because he was so impressed by her ability. Used as one of his plot points to actually destroy Daredevil, Fisk tricked Maya into thinking Daredevil is the one who killed her father, and after realizing that none of it was actually true, she brutally attacked Kingpin to get revenge. Maya operated under the name Ronin during her time with the New Avengers, sticking with them until her quote-unquote death during the Skrull invasion when she was seemingly killed by Count Nefarious's optic blast. However, years later she did resurface alive and well, which is why I said, she was seemingly killed, and alongside Daredevil, she stopped Claus's attempt to take over New York City. Aside from her photographic reflexes, Echo is multilingual despite being born deaf, an expert marksman, and is basically a master with any weapon or any martial art. Check Echo out for yourself in her first appearance in 1999's Daredevil Volume 2 number 9, or if you want to see her as Ronin, check her out in 2005's New Avengers number 11. Number 9, CISCO Ramone, aka Vibe. Now, if you're like me, you probably know who CISCO is from the CW's Flash TV series. However, there is a lot more to this character than the TV series lets on. From DC's Prime Earth, CISCO is granted his powers after he's caught in the event horizon of a boom tube during Darkseid's first invasion of Earth. The exposure to this interdimensional forces rewrote his DNA, and ever since then, CISCO uses his vibrational powers to help Argus find and restrain dangerous fugitives from other realities. Thanks to his newfound unique physiology, CISCO constantly vibrates at the frequency of a boom tube, and has learned how to utilize this in some pretty cool ways. By emitting powerful vibrations from his body, he can create shockwaves from his hands, create tears between time and space, and can actually read the psychoactive imprint left behind on others in order to get a read on past events or current events. If you want, go check out the CW's Flash TV series for yourself to see the birth of this hero on the screen, or if you're more of a comic book person, check out his first appearance in 2012's The New 52 FCBD Special Edition number 1. Coming in at number 8, we have Roberto da Costa, the hero Sunspot. Before joining the likes of the X-Men and the US Avengers, Roberto da Costa was born the son of a Brazilian millionaire, Emmanuel da Costa. With the ability to absorb solar radiation and rechannel it to enhance his strength, speed, it allows him to fly, project heat blasts, and a whole lot more, he is definitely someone you always want to be nice to, or you might end up with a pretty nasty burn. He first manifested his powers at the age of 14 during a fight with a classmate, and soon after caught the attention of Charles Xavier, who brought him in to train him as a new member of the New Mutants. Fast forward a bit and we see da Costa as the leader of the US Avengers, and although that's great for him, it did lead to a pretty terrible accident. During the temporary takeover of the government by Hydra's hand, Roberto was shot in the head with an energy pulse by a rogue AIM agent. The injury caused Roberto's powers to flare out of control, completely endangering his life, but thankfully, his fellow Avenger Tony Ho managed to create a headband for him that keeps his powers in check. Near the end of this conflict, Roberto saw himself forced to actually switch off the regulator headband and use his powers to help keep a device known as the World Engine running, since it's what actually maintained the Earth's condition and prevented the planet from crumbling. This unfortunately took off many years of his life, so he eventually decided to disband the US Avengers and return to his roots since he didn't know how much time he had left. If you want to know more, check him out in his first appearance in 1982's Marvel graphic novel number 4. Number 7, Miss America, America Chavez. Raised in a dimension outside of time and space known as the Utopian Parallel, America Chavez is one of Marvel's newer teen heroes, and she is a powerhouse. She's been a member of multiple super teams including the Young Avengers, A-Force, and the Ultimates, and belongs to the younger generation of heroes who will potentially be the stars of Marvel stories in the future. Chavez gained her powers as a young girl from a magical entity that resided where she lived, and these powers are superhuman strength and speed, star portal creation which allows her to travel through the multiverse, and hypercosmic awareness alongside a number of other powers and abilities. When her dimension was threatened by black holes, her mothers actually sacrificed themselves to save it, and Chavez ran away from home to travel across dimensions, and this began her journey as a superhero both literally and emotionally. Since her introduction, America has taken part in many huge plot points, one of the biggest being her role in Civil War II, and I won't spoil too much of it for you because it absolutely deserves a read, but let's just say she was smart enough to outsmart Captain Marvel and Spectrum. Appearing for the first time in 2011's Vengeance #1, I truly cannot wait to see what Marvel has in store for this character. Number 6. Jessica Cruz as the Green Lantern. During the Crime Syndicate's rule on DC Prime's Earth, Jessica Cruz is forcefully chosen to be the next and final wielder of the Ring of Volthoom thanks to her PTSD and terrible, debilitating anxiety. The Ring takes complete control over her and she ends up being forced to attack her own hometown, but thanks to Batman talking her down, she was able to overcome the power of the Ring and take control. Under the tutelage of Hal Jordan, she was taught how to fully control her Ring and eventually master the powers and every use of it. She was unfortunately killed by the Black Racer during the events of the Darkseid War after jumping in the path of the Black Racer to save the Flash, which was kind of good because in turn it freed her from the Power Ring's control, as it was completely destroyed, but she was no more. Impressed by her ability to overcome fear, she was tracked down, resurrected, and given a Green Lantern ring, making her the Earth's newest Green Lantern alongside her soon-to-be crime-fighting partner Simon Boz. Now, the two didn't always get along, however, after being forced to work together after Hal merged their power batteries into one, the two did learn to accept each other's differences and work together. Check out Jessica Cruz as the Green Lantern for yourself, starting with 2014's Justice League Volume 2, number 30. Number 5. White Tiger. Having been a part of the Avengers Academy, Mighty Avengers, New Avengers, and the Defenders, you can only assume that Ava is one badass woman capable of pretty much anything. Thanks to the Amulet of Power known as the White Tiger Amulet that she inherited from her brother, she has taken up the mantle as the newest White Tiger. With similar powers to Black Panther, such as enhanced physical abilities, the amulet also grants its user the ability to camouflage perfectly with their surroundings, and also dispose master-level knowledge and experience of the martial arts. Since her first appearance in 2011's Avengers Academy number 20, we've seen Ava make many allies, but none come as close to her relationship with Victor Alvarez. Since joining the Mighty Avengers, Ava and Victor bonded tremendously. Together they discovered two new abilities to fuse her White Tiger God-based powers and his chi manipulation. The first being him able to move his chi from people within their area into Ava, creating a White Tiger made out of chi. And this tiger was so powerful that it was actually able to destroy a slither of Shumagorath. Although the two only dated for a brief amount of time, they did still remain friends and combine their powers whenever they deem it necessary. If you're interested in learning more about her, I highly recommend you check out Avengers Academy for yourself. Number 4. Ghost Rider Robbie Reyes. Roberto Reyes was a young mechanic living in a neighborhood plagued with gangs and corruption, making life incredibly difficult for him and his brother Gabe. In an attempt to win some money to move somewhere better, Robbie entered a street race and, unbeknownst to him, the car he was using was actually inhabited by a ghost. Following a car chase by what he could only assume were the cops, Robbie attempted to escape, however they violently started to open fire at him. The ghost then decided to possess Robbie, transforming him into a new Ghost Rider, giving them the strength to take out a couple of the pursuers and finally escape. We later find out that Robbie is not possessed by the demon we normally associate with Ghost Rider. He is actually possessed by the spirit of his murderous uncle Eli Morrow. However, he's still granted similar powers to Johnny Blaze, such as pyrokinesis, the penance stare, and of course, superhuman strength, speed, and durability. Throughout the years, we've seen Robbie fight the malicious urges of his uncle's spirit, sometimes winning and, sometimes losing himself to them. Following the War of the Realms, Robbie found that he no longer heard the voice of Eli anymore in his head, and thinking that he had gotten rid of him, Robbie accompanied Gabe to school, but suddenly a mysterious voice started to taunt Robbie and took control of the car once again. As the car accelerated, it also attempted to kill Gabe until arriving at school where the car mysteriously stopped. This experience left Robbie in shock, and wanting to be free completely from the Ghost Rider, he asked his fellow Avengers teammates for help. After a few failed attempts, one of them being a failed exorcism, Robbie finds himself in hell approached by Johnny Blaze, the new king of hell, and unfortunately we're still waiting to see what happens. So why not give his story a read for yourself, starting with his first appearance in 2014's all-new Ghost Rider number 1. Coming in at number 3, we have Miles Morales. I hope you're all familiar with this fantastic version of Spider-Man. He is one of my absolute favorite comic book characters out there, and his rise in popularity in recent years is so well deserved. Originating from the Ultimate Universe, Miles took over the role of Spider-Man shortly after the death of Peter Parker in that universe, having gained spider powers himself and wanting to honor Peter's legacy. Now, similar to Peter and the other members of the Spider family, Miles possesses spider-like superpowers such as, superhuman equilibrium and agility, wall crawling, and spider senses. But what really sets him apart is his camouflage ability and his bioelectrokinesis. Now, it's known less formally as his Venom Blast. He can send a bioelectric shock to his enemies or destroy technology by releasing a small spark of electricity from his hands. After the initial spark, the enemy is electrocuted, and it seems that there are varying degrees to this ability, as some opponents have been, simply dazed, where whereas others have been completely incapacitated. As a member of the Avengers, Superior Spider Army, Young Ultimates, and a whole lot more, we have seen Miles go up against some pretty tough baddies, and we're only going to be seeing more of him since he is getting his own video game coming to the PS5. Let me know in the comments what kind of storyline you'd like to see the game follow. I mean, I know I've got some ideas, but I would love to hear what you all have to say. Number 2, Blue Beetle Jaime Reyes. Created by Keith Giffen, John Rogers, and Cully Hamner, Reyes owns a mysterious azure beetle scarab that generates a supersuit around his body. Now, depending on the writing team, the scarab is either mystical in origin or the product of alien technology, but wherever it comes from, be it another dimension or outer space or whatever, Reyes uses it for the right reasons to fight evil. Thanks to the scarab merged with his spine, Reyes has the ability of flight, superhuman strength, energy absorption, and a whole bunch of other powers in his arsenal. I could honestly go on, but for your sake, I will not. As a member of the Justice League International and the Teen Titans, Jaime has befriended some of the most powerful heroes known to man, and on occasion has even saved their butts from certain doom. Since his debut in 2006's Infinite Crisis number 3, Reyes has appeared in many different forms of media, including TV shows, animated series, and video games. However, he always stays true to his character and maintains his signature strong personality and even stronger connection with his family. This character really isn't too hard to find, so why not give his origins a read for yourself? Or, if you're looking for a newer take on this same character, check out his Prime Earth counterpart, starting with Blue Beetle Volume 8, number 1 from 2011. And finally, number 1, we have Nova Sam Alexander. Part Hispanic and the youngest hero to take up the mantle of Nova, Sam Alexander is truly a powerhouse in the world of Marvel. After his father, Jesse Alexander, aka Nova Centurion, goes missing, Sam takes up the mantle of Nova after finding his helmet and training with Gamora and Rocket Raccoon. Thanks to the Nova helmet, he is granted the powers of the Nova Force, meaning he can fly, manipulate energy into beams or blasts, and since his helmet carries remnants of the Nova Corp's Xandarian world mine, Sam has been shown to have increased cosmic awareness alongside a vast increase in his intelligence while using it. Since he is still fairly young, Sam is pretty immature and naive, which has gotten him into some pretty sticky situations. One of which being when he was lured into Captain Scar's ship to jumpstart his battery, and upon realizing the battery was Nova powered, he was like, absolutely no way, why would I do that? But his mind was easily swayed after Scarn's supposed daughter Janine asked him very nicely. Another thing that shows how young he is when he actually had to ask his mom permission to be part of the Avengers. And she initially said no, but later realized she couldn't actually stop him and said yes, and thank God she did that because he has gotten them out of some pretty serious jams over the years. Following his most recent storyline, Master of Weird World, Sam was actually convinced by Ironheart to renounce his powers and title as a Nova Knight, which really surprised me because it seems there was so much more life left in this character, and honestly, if you got any ideas of what they might do moving forward with this character, let me know in the comments below. For now though, check him out in his first appearance as Nova in 2013's Nova Volume 5, number 1. Well, that'll be it for this video, everyone. Do you have any other Hispanic heroes in mind that you'd like to hear us talk about? Let us know in the comments below, maybe we'll make a part 2 covering them all. Don't forget to subscribe to Top 10 Nerd to stay up to date on all things nerdy, and why not ring that notification bell so you know whenever we upload a video. As always, my name is Jack, thank you so much for watching, and stay nerdy, my friends.